Canada, in order to be authorized to study, you must first obtain a study permit. Once a study permit has been obtained by a foreign national and they wish to renew their study permit, change their study permit, or extend their study permit, they must properly apply to do so. This is essential, especially if the study permit will expire. Additionally, a foreign national must ensure that they do not overstay their authorized visit within Canada. Therefore, in this video, I will explain what a study permit entails and how to renew, change, or extend your study permit in Canada and thus remain in Canada. As previously mentioned, a study permit must be obtained in order to be authorized to study within Canada. As previously mentioned, a study permit must be obtained prior to arriving in Canada to study. A study permit essentially allows the foreign national to study in Canada temporarily. It is important to note that the study permit is a requirement set out by the Canadian government in order to assess potential students from foreign countries in order to come to Canada to study. In order to renew your study permit in Canada, you must submit a new study permit application prior to your current study permit expiring. It is advisable to submit the new application at least 30 days prior to your study permit expiring. That way you do not face any delays or complications. Keep in mind, you can also submit your study permit application online in order to help with the processing times. It is also important to note that if your study permit has already expired, unfortunately you will not be able to renew your study permit. Evidently, if your study permit has expired, you must leave Canada immediately. There are certain circumstances that may allow you to extend your stay in Canada. However, you will not be authorized to continue studying in Canada without an authorized study permit. Much like renewing your study permit, in order to extend your study permit in Canada, you must submit a new study permit application in Canada as a student. You must also submit the study permit application at least 30 days prior to your study permit expiring. Please note that Immigration Canada cannot authorize an extension of your study permit past the expiry date on your foreign national passport. Additionally, if you apply to extend your study permit in Canada prior to the expiry of your study permit in Canada, then you will be authorized to remain in Canada on implied status and can continue studying. However, you must maintain the conditions set out in your original study permit until you receive a decision on your new application. In order to change a study permit, there are two options that can ensue. The first option is changing the designated learning institution that you are currently attending, and the second option is changing your study permit to another permit such as a work permit. For the first option, if you intend on changing the designated learning institution that you were going to be attending, you would not have to apply for a new study permit or change the conditions of your study permit. In fact, the Canadian government actually allows you to continue studying on your current study permit so long as it is still valid. On the other hand, if you are going with the second option and changing your study permit to another type of permit, such as a work permit, it is important to recognize that you cannot do any of the activities set out in your original study permit. Specifically, if you have come to Canada on a study permit and are now applying for a work permit, you must stop studying immediately once the study permit has expired. Once the study permit has expired, you cannot study or work until you receive a decision on your new application. Furthermore, if the work permit is refused, unfortunately, you will have to leave Canada. Once you have submitted an application to renew or extend your study permit, you will in fact be on implied status in Canada. You will be on implied status until you receive a final decision on your new application. If you would like to renew, extend, or change your study permit but are unsure how to do so, it is important to take all of the aforementioned information into consideration. Here at Akrami & Associates, we have worked and dealt with many different immigration matters, and we have helped many of our clients renew, extend, or change their study permits in Canada. If you believe that you would be eligible to apply, please contact us. With Akrami & Associates, there's always a way.